Here, I can look at my phone whenever, right? And when I look at my phone, I know that I have internet. When I go to my room, I know that I have electricity, I have Wi-Fi. But back home, first of all, you cannot look at your phone everywhere. Like there are certain places you shouldn't be looking at your phone. You shouldn't be having your phone in your pocket, even.
I think physically you can adjust to anything. For 24 years, I lived in Turkey. So if you start working, you're just going to adjust it. But mentally, you know you're not safe, you're not secure. You can find some place secure and safe. But for me, even thinking going back is giving me headache. And I cannot explain how I'm feeling. It's really hard to explain.
If I have a chance, I would definitely go to visit my family, to visit my friends. But for working, for my experience, I think that I already get used to this culture. I think I'm more useful here than in Russia.
For many foreigners, China isn't just a place, it's a second home. A land of opportunity, adventure, and new beginnings. But what happens when it's time to leave? What fears linger as they prepare to return home? So I spoke to some foreigners in China, asking them one simple question. What is your biggest fear about leaving?
My name is Savelov Anatoly. I'm from Russia, from Moscow. I live in China since 2018. It's around 7 years.
My name is Beril Gürcan. I'm from Turkey. I'm 26 years old. I'm a translator actually, and now in China.
My name is Moumita and I'm from Bangladesh. I'm here for my master's. I also did my bachelor's here in China, in Chongqing.
My name is Steffi. I am from Madagascar. I've been in China for 6 months now, and I'm here for studying Master of Pharmacy.
I'm currently working in Jiangsu Ocean University. I work here as a teacher and translator. So I mostly do some work with international students in our university and do some translation job, and also participate in some activities and some other things relying to international relationship.
My name is Sule Abdul Muhammadu and I come from Niger. I have been in China since 2017 and now I'm doing my master's degree.
I'm studying international business, so I want to go abroad and learn Chinese. And it's been 5 months I'm here.
I have been here, I think for more than 3 years now. I was stuck in my country for like 1 year during COVID, and yeah, it's been 3 years, more than 3 years.
My name is Audrey Dela Azma Mensah. I'm from Ghana. I've been in China for about 6 years. I'm currently doing my master's and also I'm also doing business at the side.
Every journey to China starts with a reason. Some came for work, some for love, others for a fresh start. But regardless of why they arrived, one thing is certain: leaving is never easy. For many, the fear isn't just about leaving China. It's about what is waiting for them back home.
In my field, China is somehow one of the leaders in pharmaceutical field. I wanted to discover the culture behind China, because we don't know nothing much about China. When we talk about China, how is China as a country? We don't have that much of an answers outside of China. You get to know China when you're actually here.
So actually, I knew that I will come to China after my high school, because when I was doing my high school, when I was about to graduate, I already have HSK4. By that time, I knew that if I continue studying in Russia, in Moscow, and if I go to any university, even some top university with some Chinese program, when I will graduate, I will have HSK4. But by that time, I already had it. So I think I definitely should go to China to improve my Chinese level, and I think it's better to learn the language in the country when it comes from. So that's how I was looking for some opportunities for some scholarship, some bachelor programs, and that's how I found Jiangsu Ocean University. And I come here directly after my high school.
So first of all, why I choose China is basically China is a really populated country and they're really good at some stuff like international business, which is related to my major. I want to do some business stuff internationally, and I think China is the best place that I can learn. In my belief, China has a relationship with everywhere.
So firstly, I had no idea about China, like the education or anything. But then after my high school, I really wanted to go abroad for like higher studies. I contacted with one of my senior brother who was in China, and I really liked the idea. Then I talked to my parents, and surprisingly they were really supportive, and I think that was one of the best decisions of my life.
So actually my father was mostly okay. He said, okay, you can try. But my mother was worried, like, no, we cannot afford it. Even though it's scholarship, you still cannot go. It's very far away and it's gonna be expensive because you still need to earn some money or you need to get some money to live there. It's gonna be expensive. But in the end, they both agreed and then I come to China.
First of all, what made me decide to come in China, I had my uncle that was working here. I have also some of my cousins that was studying here. They told me China is a good country. You can come here to do your university studies here.
I wanted to discover, I wanted to pursue for my study was the whole purpose, and everything that comes with it is just a plus. I did have one influence since my sister is living here. She has somehow influenced my decision to come here. She said it's safe because I'm just, a girl, I will be living alone. She said, it's fine, she's living alone. She said, it's safe, so she influenced the decision.
So I want to make stronger relationship with China and Turkey. Second one is Chinese is really hard. Learning Chinese in your country is really hard. So in China, learning Chinese, I think is the best way to learn Chinese. There is a lot of misconceptions about China in the world. In media, they're not making really China introduction, so they were shocked. They didn't want me to come here. They were even fine with me to go to Korea because I know Korean. I think China is like safer than USA. Maybe opportunity because of my English, I can do better in United States, but here I think it's safer.
Will life back home still feel the same? Will I still fit in? Have I changed too much? Or has home changed without me? Then, there is the uncertainty, career changes, financial struggles, and the fear of losing the life they built here.
Yes, I've thought about leaving China, but it will be at the right time when I'm ready to go back home. After I feel like I've finished exploring everything I want to explore in terms of business, in terms of academics, in terms of every aspect of my life.
I get used to talk to Chinese. I have a lot of Chinese friends and I know the way they're thinking, I know the way they're working, I know the way they're studying. Basically, even though I spent here like 7 years, it's not 10 or 15 or 20 years old, but I feel that some part of me already is Chinese.
My first 3 days in China was really bad and I cried like 3 days straight. And I was like, I did a mistake, like shouldn't I came here? And then like when I get used to China, I really love here. So I'm not planning to leave until my school is finished. And hopefully if I can find some opportunity to stay here, I don't want to leave.
晚安龙宫世界提醒您，请下车的乘客提前做好准备，下车请按铃。
Now that I'm here, I'm still not sure if I made the right decision. Like, is this really right? But we will never know. We will never know. So I decided to come here, so let's do it. But then if I go back, how is everything back there? And since I'm here also, I feel like I'm missing, like I miss my family, of course, but like I'm missing on life. Like if somebody is getting married, if there is problem back home, somebody is sick, like I would want to spend time with them, but instead I'm here and hoping for that better future. But is it really better? You'll never know that. So that's one of my biggest fears.
I think that if I go back, I will feel a huge difference because in China, especially in some big cities, because I was living in Shanghai for 2 years, like it's a very big international community here. So actually, my friends is not only Chinese, but they are some from different countries. And I can say that I met so many interesting people in China. And I'm not sure that Russia has now so much international people, international students, workers over there.
I have thought about leaving China, but it's not like I want to leave China. Okay, first of all, I don't think foreigners can easily settle down in China. That's a big issue.
I have kind of thought that when I leave China, maybe I will not have the same opportunities. You know, here China is a big country of opportunity.
Beyond the practical fears, there is something deeper. The emotional connection to China itself, the friendships, the culture, the feeling of belonging.
I would definitely go to visit my family, to visit my friends. But for working, for my experience, I think that I already get used to this culture. And I would like to continue my career in China. I think I'm more useful here than in my own country than in Russia.
If I have to compare my life now with my life back home, here is better. Of course, here is better. We got light, the infrastructure, as you said, the safety, your daily necessity is readily available here. Food, electricity. The food is cheap. Back home, we have electricity, but we don't have it like 24 hours. And also it's expensive.
I kind of have some fears because in my country now, like everybody has some difficulties and everybody has their own issues, but I've always been an wanderlust. Like I always wanted to be traveler. I always wanted to travel the world. I didn't want to stay in some place forever.
I'll be okay to leave China. And also my biggest fear of leaving China is the fact that I wouldn't have fulfilled my purpose of accomplishing everything that I have set to accomplish by the time I decide to leave. That's the only biggest fear. And adjusting back home after leaving China wouldn't be a problem because I've already set my mind that I'm not going to be staying in China for a very long time.
Back home, you can't really walk at night. Here, if you have so much on your mind, you can just go out and then walk at night. It's fine, you're safe. Back home, you can't do that. Back home, you can't even look at your phone on the road. Somebody will steal your phone away. So if I put the pros and cons, here will be better.
I have some fears about going back home. Like one is I can freely travel here in China. Like since I came, I'm not really scared about my safety or security. So I can travel anywhere, anytime, and I'm safe. But if I go back to my country, like it's not the same situation. Another thing is back in my country, many people has this misconception about China. Sometimes they don't really think that the degree is as valuable as the degrees which people get from USA or UK. But the situation is changing right now because so many people from my country, they are coming here to study.
My biggest fear is like maybe back home I will not have the same opportunities. When I leave China, maybe I will not have the same opportunities. You know, here China is a big country of opportunity. About like studies, you can find good schools here, and also about business is a good country where you can have a lot of business partners.
So I think going back to my country means that I feel like I'm in a box. They're like chaining me into that box, and I would like to be just cross that borderline. I don't want to like chain in some place. That's why like I don't want to go back to my country. And also here I'm like independent. I can do whatever I want. But when I go back to my country, like I had to leave my parents. And after leaving your home, it's really hard to go back. So
The quality of life here is better overall. But then everything I cherish is back home. Like my childhood, everything, my family, my house where I grow up. Now that I'm living here, life is good, it's fine. I have nothing to complain about. But then there is this empty inside of me, like this isn't what I want for the rest of my life. I'm open to stay here as long as I'm building something, but for a long-term purpose, I would choose my country.
I think physically you can adjust to anything because like for 24 years I lived in Turkey. So if you start working, you're just going to adjust it. But mentally, you know you're not safe, you're not secure. Like you can find some place secure and safe, but for me, I just love like here safer and my mind is like clear. But even thinking going back is giving me headache. And I cannot like explain how I'm feeling. It's really hard to explain.
Some have spent years here, calling it home. Saying goodbye isn't just about leaving a country, it's about living a life. So, what does it mean to live? Is it an ending or just another beginning? Maybe the real fear isn't about leaving China. Maybe it's about finding out where we truly belong. So, what about you? Have you ever left a place that felt like home? What was your biggest fear? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this.